Hello, and welcome to Mindfulness for Beginners. This is the first of a series of 7 videos to help you learn the practice of mindfulness. My name is Alec. I am an acupuncturist and mindfulness coach. I've been an acupuncturist for almost 30 years, and I've practiced mindfulness and meditation since before I started my acupuncture training, so for a long time. And I've always found mindfulness to be a really useful tool in my own life, and something that I recommend to patients as one of the things that's been researched and shown. It's good to help people relax and find a bit of calmness in their life. It's been shown to help in the management of pain and stomach conditions and a range of illnesses. In fact, if you look at the research on mindfulness out there, there's a really good chance that you'll find stuff that directly relates to you, especially as we all know that when we're stressed, we feel worse. Whether it's an existing condition is worse when we're stressed. So if you are unfortunate enough to suffer from eczema or asthma or headaches and you get stressed, it'll make them worse. Likewise, at times you relax more when you're more comfortable and feel steadier. That tends to help ease the symptoms. Not take them away necessarily, but it does help to ease them. So doing mindfulness is a way of adding a positive health benefit to your life for very little effort. And we encourage people to think of their relationship to doing a practice as your relationship to self-care. You do it to take better care of yourself. And that's something we could generally all do with a degree of. But mindfulness is very straightforward. It is very simple. It is absolutely idiot-proof. It's not expectation-proof, but it's idiot-proof. And by that I mean it's your expectation of what you think it is that will affect how much you end up doing it and how comfortable you feel doing it. And when you can get the two to marry up, then you'll be able to build a practice that kind of will sit with you for longer. So let's deal with the practical stuff. And the practical stuff is making yourself comfortable. So we're talking about doing a practice of 10 or 12 minutes. So ideally, you need to be able to sit somewhere in an upright position, in a nice, comfortable chair where you're not going to be disturbed. Some people will sit up in bed in the morning and do it. Some people will sit in the car when they get to work or at lunchtime and do it. But if you're only doing it in your own home, then you need to pick a chair that's comfortable. You need to pick an environment which is warm, depending on when in the day you're doing it. Depends on how warm different rooms of your house will be. Take a blanket to make sure you're warm. And then you need to manage interruptions. So in most cases, people use these days a mobile phone as a timer or to listen to something. That's fine. But if you could turn off the noisy notification stuff, that would help. Speaking to other people in the house about not being disturbed is great. Simply being in a room and presuming you won't be disturbed rarely works in family dynamics. Nor does simply locking a door. Telling people you don't wish to be disturbed for a few minutes is ideal. And then you settle. If you have pets, again, depending on the nature of the pet, if they sit quietly in the room, that's fine. If not, you need to put them in a different room. So you're basically drawing the lines to carve out a small amount of time for yourself where you're just going to be sitting with you and other stuff isn't going to intrude. And then you sit comfortably and you make sure you're comfortable. And so I'm going to presume that people are going to take a moment to do that now, just to make sure that they're sitting somewhere that's comfortable, that the door is shut, that they're warm enough, that they're settled. And then when you are, I'm going to ask you to very simply move your attention to your feet. Now, that's not move your feet. That's just allow yourself to be aware of your feet. And start just your eyes. I want you to really focus on your feet. So allow yourself to be more aware of your feet. Heighten your awareness of your feet and the sensations in your feet. Allow yourself to be really aware of the sensation of any socks or shoes that might be touching your feet, or the sensation of your feet, how they rest. And just allow yourself to be really aware of how your feet feel. Then draw your attention up to your knees and focus on your knees, still with your eyes closed. You'll keep your eyes closed throughout the practice. And just really feel how your knees feel. Just give yourself a moment to feel how your knees feel, both the left knee and the right knee. Then draw your attention up to your seat and to the fact that you're sitting. Notice the fact that you're sitting. Notice what it feels like to be sitting. Notice what it feels like to be sat. Notice how your seat feels. And draw your attention to your low back and notice how your low back feels. Just allow yourself to be fully aware of your low back. And then draw your attention up to your mid-back. Notice how your mid-back feels. Notice any sensations you're aware of in your mid-back. Then draw your attention up to your upper back and notice how your upper back feels. And then draw your attention into your shoulders. Now, I mean the front part of your shoulders and the top part of your shoulders and the back part of your shoulders. So just allow yourself to be fully aware of your shoulders and aware of any sensations in your shoulders. Then draw your attention into your arms. Allow yourself to be aware of your arms as they hang from the side of your body. Allow yourself to be aware of any sensations in the arms as they touch. And then allow your awareness to move to your hands. Notice how your hands are resting. Allow yourself to be fully aware of any sensations in your hands. And then draw your attention up to your head. And just notice your head, how it feels as it sits on your shoulders. Allow yourself to be aware of your head. And then draw your attention to your breath. And just notice your breath. Notice the fact that you're breathing. Allow yourself to follow your breath as you breathe in and out. And just notice what your breathing rhythm is. Notice what your breathing rhythm feels like. Don't try and change it. Don't try and speed your breath up or slow it down, or don't try and take deeper breaths. Just notice what your breath is and follow your breath as you breathe in and as you breathe out. As you breathe in and as you breathe out. Feel the rhythm of your breath and that cycle as you breathe in and as you breathe out. The flow of your breath is almost like watching a wave come up and recede on a beach. You feel the breath come in and then watch it go out again. And it's like watching that flow of the waves. Feel that flow of your breath. Feel that flow as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Just go with the flow as you breathe in and as you breathe out. And by now, it's really common for people to have been distracted, not to be any longer thinking of your breath, but instead your thoughts to be occupying something else, something you're doing later or something you did yesterday, or an obsessive thought that keeps coming up. And that's fine. That's what happens. But when you realize that your attention is on a thought, just notice that and then draw your attention back to your breath and just pick up your breath wherever it was. And follow your breath as you breathe in and out. One of the reasons we use the breath as a focus is it's a strong, steady rhythm that we can always focus on. So no matter how often thoughts come up or any other distractions, you'll always have your breath to rely on. You'll always have your breath to go back to be able to pick up and carry on, just breathing in and breathing out. Allowing your focus to follow the breath as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Just allow your breath to carry you, like floating on that wave, as you breathe in and out. Feel yourself being carried. Your attention holding onto your breath as you breathe in and out. Your attention relaxing into the breath, settling with your breath as you breathe in and out. And as we come towards the end of the practice, keep your eyes closed, but allow your attention to go from your breath back to your head. So notice your head and your shoulders, the front part of the head, your face, the side parts of your head, the back of your head. Just notice the whole of your head and just allow yourself to be really aware of your head for a moment. And then allow your awareness to move into your shoulders. And again, notice all of your shoulders, not just the back part, but the top part of your shoulders and the front part as well. And really notice how your shoulders feel. Give yourself a moment just to really be conscious of your shoulders. Then allow your awareness to move to your arms. And allow yourself to be aware of your arms as they hang from your shoulders. Allow yourself to be aware of the weight of your arms and the sensation of your arms and however they're resting against whatever surfaces are touching. And just feel the weight of the arms and how settled your arms feel. Then allow your awareness to go to your hands and notice how they're nestling, notice how they're resting, notice how settled your hands are. Then allow your attention to move to the top of your back and just notice how the top of your back feels. Then draw your attention to your mid-back and really notice how your mid-back feels and any sensations in your mid-back area. Then draw your attention down to your low back and notice how your low back feels. That's to be really aware of your low back. Then Then draw your attention into your seat and notice how your seat feels, and allow yourself to be fully aware of your seat, what it feels like to be sitting and how steady that feels. And just allow yourself to feel sat. And then let your awareness move to your knees. Allow yourself to be aware of your knees and how they feel. And then draw your attention down to your feet and allow yourself to be aware of your feet and any surface then touching. And allow yourself to be aware of how steady your feet feel and how reliable. Just allow yourself to be aware of your feet. And then as we come to the end of the practice, you can open your eyes when you're ready. So that was a very simple mindfulness practice that hopefully you will have been able to follow. And actually, if you never learned anything else about mindfulness and you simply repeated that once a day, that would be a real help. Mindfulness isn't complicated. It is just doing that. It's putting your focus in a simple place for a few minutes that allows your thoughts and the external world just to become slightly more detached from how you're feeling in your day-to-day life. And that's a real plus. So this is day one. Tomorrow we'll do a little bit more. And if you get a chance today, I would encourage people to spend 10 minutes just doing exactly what we did again. And then have another go tomorrow with the next bit. And just stick with it, guys, and have a go. You got nothing to lose. Hope that helped. Bye-bye.